Everyone who applied for the DV lottery last year in October 2019 is waiting for the results. The results for the DV lottery is expected to be out on May 5th, 2020. So we are talking about the DV lottery 2021, meaning you applied in October 2019, results May 2020, people starting to come to the US from October 1st, 2020 to September 30th, 2021. So majority of people will be coming in the US in the year 2021. That's why it's called DV 2021. So I know you are waiting for these results, but the question I've been receiving every single day, I've made a video about this one, but people are asking, and because the time is going fast and there are so many measures the US government is doing, it is the time to give the updates. And the question, answering the same or similar question, the question people have been asking me is the US government going to cancel the results for the DV 2021? That will be the question I'm going to answer on this video, but I'll go further explaining for those who won the DV 2020, meaning they applied in 2018, the results came out in May 2019, they processed from October 2019 until now. They are still processing in order to come to America. And even 2 days ago I was communicating with one person I helped to fill the DSC 260, is from Uganda, already has the visa on hand to come to America. He got the visa on February and is expecting to, after in February we have 6 months to come to US. So by the, what will happen if you have the visa and you cannot be able to travel? What will happen in that scenario or in that situation? So stay tuned everyone, and I'm going to answer all those questions. Welcome everyone, this is Ernest Boniface Makulilo. Today I'm talking to you from my backyard. We have a very good weather, as you can see, and what is the best way to do instead of just doing all the videos from my home office inside the building? It's better to be outdoor and make the video. As you can see, I usually do some workout outside, sometimes here, so here and there. So let's go on and tackle these kind of questions. So we have a couple of things related. I will start with the DV 2021 because the majority of you are waiting for the results, but also I will talk about the DV 2020 in a very high level. So let me start with the DV 2021, which we are expecting to get the results on May 5th, 2020 this year. So we have a few weeks to come. We are going to, suppose we're expecting to get the results. So the question is, will the US government release the results? Or the government will say, okay, let's suspend everything? So I'm going to say definitely, because of the following reason, I can be sure what I'm talking about. Number one, DV 2021, the one we are expecting the results are supposed to be on May 5th. Number one, the US government is still in operational, is still working despite the global pandemic, despite the challenges or the spread of the virus. That's number one we have to know. It's different from when we say the government shut down. There is no government shutdown. So the business of the government is doing like usual. There are so many people out in the government still work from home. Some they are still working on site, but majority of the government employees are still in operational, working as normal. The government is not shut down, is still in operational. So for that case, we expect everything to be in the timeline. Speaking of the timeline, let's know for sure these things, the timeline for the DV lottery results to come out, when people are supposed to start applying for the visa and getting to the visa interview, and it's starting to come to America. The timeline is part of the Immigration Act. So if you are going to see how the act or the law about which is governing the diversity visa lotteries is also giving the direction when the DV lottery is supposed to be played and when the results are supposed to be come out, and when we are expecting people to start to come to the United States. So the results, currently they are coming in May. It used to be back in the day, it used to be in July, but it has been now is in May. So, but between May, people are starting like checking the results and filling the DSC 260, doing those preparation in order people to start getting the interviews. So those who are with the case number, smaller case numbers, smaller numbers will start getting interview in October. So the timeline of people to start doing interview in October, people to come from October 2020 to September, October 1st is when people started to have interview and come to America until the end of September 2021. That timeline is part of the law. So basically, so far, the timeline will be the same because the government is still in operational. The government is not in the shutdown. Secondly, we are already in April, almost mid of April now. It's April 10, April 11, April 12. So it's almost going to mid of April. Don't tell me that the US government was waiting just to do random selection of people in the month of April. No. The random selection, people applied since October. Deadline was November. So after the deadline, the end of one steps opens up the next step. The next step is people to start processing all these applications. Which they have to do is those people who applied twice, they are going to be eliminated. Obvious, which is the machine is going to detect, and the selection is going to be done. Remember, selection is done by computer. Is the random selection by computer. So the entire process of selection is not going to start in the month of April. Obviously, I believe one after a stop ending, they are starting right away to do all the processes. So up to now, the random selection has been done. What I believe is, because the random selection has been done, what is waiting now? What is waiting is just to click the button and the results to be out. That's what I believe. Or it will be already just for the people in IT, people in computer, whatever, to put in the server or to put in the cloud, whatever they are going to put those results in order for you in the website to be able to see them. So to upload those results into the system, people can do working even from home. So even if majority of the people who are working from home, maybe because of this situation, they will be still able to finish the last steps to make sure that the results will be coming out still May 5th as scheduled. So I don't expect the results to be suspended or given further date because, one, the government is not in shutdown. Government is full operational, whether from working from telework, working from home, or working on site. Secondly, the process of random selection has already been done. They are not waiting until March or April to do that 1 month before the results to start doing random selection. One step ends of the deadline, they are starting the process of doing everything else because there are millions of people are applying. So there are so many moving parts that have to be done in order to release. So up to now, maybe if what has been left in these 2 or 3 weeks, it will be just uploading the things into the whatever website, into their system, so that once they click, someone can be able to check the results. You can be able to see by putting your case number, because if you go now, you put your confirmation number into the website, it will tell you it is the wrong confirmation number, because the 2020 case numbers have not been, or 2021, the V2021 case numbers, confirmation numbers have not been activated to be allowed someone to check the results. So those are simple processes in IT, or people with computer skills can be able to do in a very short time and work from home and be able to accomplish that one. So that is the few things why the result will be the same and will be there. Second part of the same thing, remember, majority of people will be going for the visa interview in October 2020. And a few people, first of all, majority of them, they will be in 2021. So there will be no threat. Like, why should the US government stop the green card lottery, the V lottery, this 2021, while the majority of people are expected to come to America in 2021, where at that time coronavirus will not be there at all? We believe so. For all these measures, global, each country is working. We are not expecting that it will be a very big block for people to be able to come to America. So there will be no such a thing, like, because it is far away. First of all, even the first person to be interviewed will be in October. So at that time, already the pandemic will be gone, we believe so. So we will not be having a threat like why should the US government have a panic? And if you have been able to track, like we have seen now, the New York, which was epicenter, it was at the peak, now is starting dropping down. So that means it's a good news. And then with the summer coming up, with all the stimulus package being approved, we will be seeing a lot of support from the medical people and from the business side. So that doesn't affect at all to this kind of situation. And the decision if they have to completely cancel is not on the table at all. So don't even think like, will they completely decide to cancel lottery forever or just this lottery? In order to do that, it has to go to the Congress. President cannot just say from now on I'm going to completely destroy or completely to abandon, completely to suspend. We will never have the V lottery. That date will come one day, obviously, but in order to happen that way, it has to go to the House of Representatives and it has to go to the Senate to be approved for that way, because it is part of the Immigration Act. You cannot just wake up morning or drinking wine during the night and wake up in the morning and say, okay, from now on we are going to suspend everything. No, it doesn't work that way. So those are some of the reasons as to why this lottery, the results will continue to be there. So if you applied, you are waiting for the results, still waiting for the results. So don't start thinking that, oh, I didn't win maybe because my country has so many cases of the virus. No, the lottery, the results have nothing to do with your country, whether they have more cases or fewer cases. There is nothing to do with the random selection of that. So let me put that way away. Then I'm coming quickly to talk to those people who already applied for the 2018, results came out in 2019, they're supposed to come 2020 for the DV 2020. So if you are still waiting for the DV, you are waiting for the interview, you are waiting for the KCC to send you the interview date, keep waiting, because one person is Kenyan. I communicated with him yesterday. He's still waiting, so he was wondering what's going on. So the question I asked him, what is your case number? He gave me his case number. His case number was almost 46,000 going 47,000. So obviously the case number is the one determining when it will be your interview. So with the 47,000, obviously we were nearby 50,000 to be called for the interview. So your interview will be between June, but mostly likely to be June, July, or sometimes in August. So at least 45 days before your interview, or a month or 2 months before your interview, you will be given the interview date. So for that case, I told the person, just wait, you are in April. Wait, May, they will send you the interview date on May for June, or they will send you in June for July. So you'll have at least a month in advance in order to process it that way. So KCC is still going on sending interview date to people. Yes, I know almost all embassies in the world, they have stopped to do interview. Consular office has been closed in almost all countries. But KCC will give you the interview date. Once you get the interview date, it is your responsibility to communicate with the US Embassy by email in your country or by calling them, and then they are going to reschedule. So everybody who is waiting for the DV 2020 to come to America because the last person to be interviewed will be on September 30th this year, 2020. So if you are the last person, don't worry. They're going to reschedule. Everybody will be interviewed. So they will do back-to-back interview. If everybody will be coming to the interview on the same day, whatever it is, you will be interviewed. So don't worry, because everything has to be done before end of September. End of September means that is the timeline is given by the law. Has to be to end that one. And October 1st, they have to start DV 2021. That is the part of the is immigration law. This is part of the DV program and the timeline. So don't worry, don't get frustrated. Just wait if you are waiting for the lottery. But if you go to the date, obviously the embassy will not give you the interview. Communicate with the embassy by email to the consular in your country, or just send, because the KCC, they don't change the interview date. The interview date you change with the local US Embassy in the country you're supposed to do the interview. That's what you're supposed to do. So I'm sure I've been able to answer all those kind of questions. I wish you all the best to wait for your results, and I believe you might be one among the winners, the lucky one to win the DV lottery. In case of any particular question with this one, let me know. But otherwise, I wish you all the best in the waiting for the results. And if you win, let me know. I can guide you more about how to fill the DSC260. I will make the video about how to fill the DSC260 once the results are out. I don't want to start doing now and complicating you with other things. Otherwise, thank you everyone and goodbye.